In the summer of 1914, Europe was breathing normally, and then one gunshot changed everything. A single moment in Sarajevo pulled an entire continent into a war no one truly believed would last. What followed was not glory, not honor, but years of fear, blood, and silent suffering that reshaped Europe forever. Europe split into two massive alliances. On one side were the Allies, France, Britain, and Russia, later joined by Italy. They fought to stop expansion, to protect borders, and to survive. On the other side stood the Central Powers, Germany, Austria, Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire, bound by promises of loyalty and fear of isolation. Once the first armies marched, there was no turning back. Germany struck first in the west, racing through Belgium to reach Paris. Young soldiers marched confidently, believing the war would be over by Christmas. But Christmas came, and they were still there, trapped in muddy trenches, staring across no man's land at enemies just meters away. Rain filled the trenches. Rats fed on the dead. Letters from home were soaked in tears before they were even read. France became a battlefield of endurance. Cities shattered. Villages erased. French soldiers held their ground for years, knowing that if they fell, their homeland would be lost. British troops crossed the Channel and learned a new kind of warfare, where courage meant surviving another night under shell fire, and victory meant moving the line forward just a few yards at the cost of thousands of lives. In the East, Russia fought with courage but little preparation. Soldiers often went into battle without proper weapons. Many froze before they ever saw the enemy. Hunger and exhaustion weakened the nation from within, until revolution at home forced Russia out of the war. For many soldiers, survival meant walking away, leaving behind friends who would never return. Austria-Hungary fought on multiple fronts, struggling to hold together an empire made of many cultures and languages. Soldiers who barely understood each other shared the same fate, dying for a flag that would soon disappear. The Ottoman Empire battled across vast lands, from the Balkans to the Middle East, fighting to defend what remained of its once great power. Italy entered the war hoping for land and recognition. Instead, its soldiers faced brutal mountain warfare, climbing icy peaks under enemy fire. Many never came down. Snowstorms buried entire units. Silence followed, broken only by grief. But behind every uniform was a human story. A German soldier sharing bread with a wounded enemy. A British nurse holding a dying teenager's hand as he whispered for his mother. A French child waiting years for a father who would never knock on the door again. Millions fought, but millions more suffered without ever holding a weapon. When the guns finally fell silent in 1918, Europe was unrecognizable. Empires collapsed. Borders were redrawn. An entire generation was lost. The war that was meant to end all wars instead planted the seeds of an even greater one. So here is the question we must ask ourselves today. If one moment of hatred and alliances dragged the whole world into darkness once, could it happen again?